This is a wonderful project that the athletics department and the university took on to really raise the profile of our department. Really an announcement for our university about our commitment to competing in the sport of football. This project was $130 million in total project cost. That involved a new video board, all the premium seating, and all the amenities that we constructed into this project to benefit our football program. We started on this project in December of 2023, right after the close of the season, and then we have gone straight, nearly 21 months to turn this thing around. And we opened it for our football program on July 28th, and that was technically 30 days ahead of construction schedule, and we are still on budget. So a lot of great work went into this, and I'm happy to share with you today what this experience is all about. We are starting our experience really from a student-athlete perspective. We are in the mud room. This is a concept that came about in this project to look at how do we maintain it, how do we keep it recruit ready 24/7, 365. And this mud room really made a difference with that. As you can tell, it's got a little bit of a smell of a locker room here, right? You got the aroma of shoulder pads, helmets, cleats, gloves. That all gets offloaded here, and it waits to the next day when they put it back on. It's an area that's set up to let it dry, better for the care of the equipment, and a better experience overall for our student athletes. So at the end of practice, they come in the large roll-up door. We have a massive conditioning fan that is helping us separate the hot air from the cold air so we can get the team in here quickly and not lose a lot of efficiency. As they get into this space, they remove helmets, shoulder pads, basically everything down to their girdles or the undergarments. And at that point, we make our way to the car wash. I was talking to our strength coach, Kurt Hester, the other day, and he mentioned how significant this is if the kids, after training on the field, have a weight session that afternoon, and that this really enables them to go into that session much better prepared, much more ready to make themselves better. Very efficient process, something we're really happy about doing in this project. We had a locker room for the team at the Athletics Alumni Center. That was their everyday locker room. That's where they were almost every day of the year, except for the 6, where we played home football games, and then we relocate them to their home team locker room near gate 2. Operating 2 different locker rooms, not very efficient. It's what we did for about 10 years until we were able to do this upgrade. So now this is their 24/7, 365 locker room, except when they travel. And it brings a lot of efficiency, and we could invest more in this experience for our student athletes. I'd like to point out the lockers all have an LED TV screen above it, which is how we denote who gets what locker. It allows our media staff, our creative staff, they can do updates on this when it's the black game, when it's the blue game, anything that we want to do unique, we can do it very quickly from a computer. This is the team lounge. So just some casual space for the team to go. Sometimes they'll eat a morning meal in here because it's convenient to the locker room. Just some place for them to kind of gear down when it's not getting ready for practice or geared up, whatever the case may be. We have that opportunity for them in this space. This is not anything team oriented. This is not for reviewing film with the coaching staff. This is literally time just for them. And beyond in this area here is the team theater. So again, not for watching game footage or anything else. This is really just for them to gear down and have some time away from being a football student athlete. From coming off the field, dropping everything in the mud room, car wash, cold plunge, showers, it's all about being prepared for the next day. We've learned that as much as we want to invest in the effort that they can make while trying to get better by improving in the weight room and on the field of play, a lot of the growth of our student athletes is in the actual recovery process. This is a recovery room. This is dedicated for that purpose. So we have what we call zero gravity chairs that kind of rock back into a plane location. The Normatec boots, compressing the legs, helping in circulation. These really elaborate chairs in the middle, they're actually massage chairs. So when the student athletes sit, they actually get a very nice treatment. All about recovery, all about relaxing, allow them to gear down so they can be at their best when they need to. So when you set about designing a facility like this, there's a lot of things you're trying to address. And it's odd when you talk to each one of our support groups, whether it be nutrition, sports medicine, equipment operations, weight room, I think everybody wants to be right next to the locker room. So unless you're building a 100,000 square foot, one-story facility with everybody kind of attached like spokes on a wheel, it's really not possible. It would be unfunctional. But sports medicine being right next to the locker room is a major convenience. We want to look after our student athletes the best that we can. We have a situation here with this sports medicine area that we think really does a nice job. Behind that glass storefront right there, we've got 2 different hydrotherapy pools. One's hot water at 104 degrees. The other one is cold therapy at about 45 degrees. There's also a dry sauna in the back that we very popular with student athletes and aids in their respiration. The area you're standing in with this kind of rubberized floor, this is a rehabilitation space and to some degree a prehabilitation space. Say where we're to focus on specific areas of the body that might need some extra attention to ensure that we keep them in the best condition that we can. Back in the far end of the room, we have the taping tables. Next, we have the treatment tables. Back in the far right, we actually have a doctor's office. We have some of the finest medical doctors, sports medical doctors in the city that come and see our athletes almost on a daily basis. There's also a C-arm x-ray machine back there as well that we use for our football student athletes and all of our others, to be honest with you. But it's a great feature to have to be able to look after our athletes on this level. All right, so we've stopped in the academics lounge. Obviously, being a comprehensive facility for our football student athletes, we want to ensure that they have proper academic support. Now, as we proceed down the hall toward the auditorium, we're passing a myriad of position meeting rooms. It's obviously where the unique positions on the football team are able to meet and focus on game strategy as a smaller group before they get together as a larger group. We also have, we're actually going to go over into it because I think there's some connection here, but we'll show you where we'll do the post-game press conference moving forward. So we stopped in here specifically because this is the new location we'll be doing the home team post-game press conference. Jeff and Fletcher will make sure you guys have directions on how to get to this location. Following our game days, this is also where our safeties and the defensive unit meet. But this is part of the economy that we were looking at with this facility to be very smart how we spend money. And being able to take a suitable room like this and set it up for Coach Fritz and the student athletes to handle post-game as well as prepare for our competitions is a very smart use of our resources. So we have 2 of these. The offensive one is on the other side, but we're going to have this one for post-game press conferences. This is the team room, team auditorium. 156 chairs, accommodate our roster size, all the support staff. We worked on the acoustics in this room so that Coach Fritz can address the team without having to be mic'd up. And I think we were very successful in that regard. Coaches do a lot of talking, a lot of loud talking, and helping save his voice for the field is kind of important. But a very suitable room, very appropriate place for us to strategize as a team and be ready for the next day of the next competition. If you'd like to follow me out this side. Kurt Hester, I mentioned earlier. He's our strength and conditioning coach. Had a great vision of what he wanted to see us do with this space. And I think that even though Kurt kind of came into the project while we were already under construction, I think we ended up building the room around his design. And he had great vision and insight to how we should optimize our student athletes' time training in this space. And it really does excite the team. They're very energized to be here. We've got the turf system right where Eddie is standing. That is a soft surface that's good for impact training, a little more gentle on the body and bouncing up and down on this rubberized surface. So we're able to do agilities and performance training back there. Obviously a large amount of weights and racks. I think this is set up to evolve with training methodologies, things that allow us to train the body more efficiently, really get strong and fortify against injury. Really liked Coach Hester's approach to things. I think he brought a really good view of what we did. Very proud of the result. I'll also add that if you hadn't noticed, we are on the second floor. The second floor is not a common place for a weight room. It's not so much the weight that comes up here, it's the impact when the weight hits the floor. And working with our engineers, our design team, realized just how feasible this is. And honestly, it made everything happen with our design. And initially we weren't thinking that the weight room would be on the second floor, but honestly we were able to take advantage of that and do some unique things that really maximize the efficiency of our student athletes. With that, I'd like to take you over here. So having a weight room on the second floor, and not really just on the second floor, if you notice when we were coming up the steps, we went up about 48 steps to get up here. So this isn't just one story. We climbed about 35 feet in the air. Well, unique opportunity when you have that. And Coach Hester bit right in and thought, let's do something with this. So if you look over here, we have training steps as part of the design of the project. Talk about power, talk about explosion, talk about momentum. This absolutely emphasizes that, and they integrated it into the design, which I think was a next level idea from our design team, something our coaching staff really embraced, and our kids think is a whole lot of fun until they're actually working on it. Then it's not as much fun. As Eddie pointed out with the graphics, how we're celebrating our affinity for the city of Houston, our home. Kind of look over here to the side and see the graphic on the wall. That's actually the city of Houston roadmap, where we've identified the location of campus. So never forget where our heart is. Made through the generous gift of Ron and Carolyn Yokobitis. Wonderful people who've been great fans of our program, very supportive. Ron's a former student athlete, played football here, and been very generous over the years and has been very active with our program. This area, we'll see it more on the first floor as we're heading out, set up to recognize the legacy of football excellence for our Houston program. There's features like these on the wall, and I'm sure you're all wondering where is the one that's not there. There was a blemish on it that we weren't comfortable, and they're remaking for us, but that's Greg Ward. He's the other national award winner that we have. And on the first floor, it's almost a virtual experience where we have a large screen display, kind of reviewing our Houston football tradition, our legacy of excellence, all the history in our program, as well as some trophy cases. But it's really a pre-function area on game day for all of our premium fans who will come up and enjoy the game experience from our touchdown club or the suites. And even further up, we have a party patio on deck. So if you want to follow me. So this is what we're calling the Touchdown Club. And it's going to be home to a game day premium experience for the suite holders. There's 14 suites on this level and a club section that sits just in front of it, hovering above the end zone. We have a full service operable kitchen here, as well as a servery. And on game days, you'll see that we have a bar for game day only. I want to point out that some of the economy of the design that really supports the efficiency of this project, we have 6 home games every year. And to build out a kitchen and a club to be used on that level of frequency does not feel like a great use of money. Not a bad one, but not a great one. So the idea of creating the team's dining hall experience in our club really makes a lot of sense, because they'll eat here almost every day through the academic year, through the summer, through preseason. This is where they'll eat. So we get to make better use of our investment by feeding our student athletes regularly. And they really like it, the convenience of being in the same building, fresh, hot, nutritious food, variability. It really does make the experience wonderful. We're going to proceed down the level and kind of have a look around. So with less than a week before kickoff, we're still prepping for game day. It's not uncommon. Part of the expediency in turning over the project early is that we move some things to the back end that could come before kickoff. So the suites are like 95% done, just doing some finishing items in there, and the team is eating up in here every day. So as Eddie explained, all the tables, all the lower tables go away with the chairs. We do leave the large bar highs in the middle. We'll add a bunch of other bar highs in here too. Get to use the servery, all the distribution of beverages. Just a very efficient space, very clean space, very bright space. And pretty excited about having it, and based on the level of interest, our fans are too. As I mentioned upstairs, Jokabitis Hall, Ron and Carolyn, wonderful people. There'll be trophy cases displayed behind you underneath the staircase with the Houston emblazoned on the underside. There's a helmet display that connects between these two columns here. They'll kind of welcome people into the space. And over here, this is a 110-inch screen monitor that will run the continuous history of University of Houston football. Just something more modern, something we can quickly react to and update with athletes selected in the NFL draft, or the next bowl win, the next big win. Everything that we do, we can put up here very quickly, which is an adaptable way to keep up. This has been one of the most amazing projects that we've had at U of H. The first one, part of this modern renaissance for athletics, opened in 2014 with TDECU Stadium. Project cost was about $128.7 million. As I mentioned, this project was $130 million to build approximately 160,000 square feet. What an amazing change over 10 years. But it couldn't happen without leadership, starting with the board of directors, Dr. Couture, the support and passion for athletics, to see how we can raise brand awareness of our university nationwide and worldwide. Believe in Coach Fritz and the future of our program, the leadership of the athletics department. It's an interesting time in college athletics, and we feel like we've made the absolute right choice, right investment to see our program to a great, bright future in the very near future. Thank you.